Billionaire philanthropist Melinda French Gates is one of the most influential voices in the philanthropy community. Earlier this month, as you know, she left the Gates Foundation after building it from the ground up. Yep, she did that with her ex-husband Bill Gates starting more than 2 decades ago. In an exclusive interview, French Gates talks about this transitional period of her life and how she says she found her voice after losing it years ago. Melinda French Gates says her decision to leave the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was not sudden.
It was much more an evolution that as certain things started to fall into place, we had a board of trustees that I was very involved in recruiting and who I know quite well. We have a CEO who's been CEO for 4 years. I have absolute trust in him, and I felt like the institution was at a great place that I could step out, and this seemed like the right time.
So it wasn't a case there was no falling out?
No.
There was no harsh words exchanged?
Never.
You just decided? Because I think people don't understand why, because the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation was going very well and doing very well.
Yeah, it is doing well.
It is, yes.
And I think it will continue to that work well into the future.
She formed the foundation with Bill Gates back in 2000. Its focus, providing funding to fight poverty, disease, and inequity around the world. Her years of experience with the nonprofit showed French Gates the impact of empowering women and girls firsthand. And that led her to create pivotal ventures right here in Seattle. Her mission now bolstered by the $12.5 billion she received following her departure from the foundation.
What we're trying to do is to create social change with pivotal ventures, those pivotal moments where you need to step in or to create change.
Pivotal Ventures is something you started in 2015.
Correct.
So this isn't a new venture for you.
No, but what I will have is now a fully charitable arm. So these resources that are coming to me from Bill will all be 100% charitable. And what I like about it is that I can step in fully with a little more flexibility and full decision-making control by myself over how I spend the funds.
$1 billion of those funds has already been allocated to groups supporting women and families, many centered on reproductive rights. People are saying, is Melinda Gates trying to disrupt philanthropy in terms of giving money to organizations with no strings attached to people that you believe in? Is this a different way of doing philanthropy for you?
I'm trying to disrupt society. I am trying to change social norms. And so to me, it's not even enough to have a conversation about women's rights in our country. We have to make sure that men and boys do well.
She's doing that by donating to research groups like the American Institute for Boys and Men.
Because you have good men and boys in societies, guess what? They're great partners for women. They help pull women along in good ways.
This past weekend, French Gates shared her personal journey with a group of college graduates, including her youngest daughter, Phoebe, at Stanford University.
I turned 60 this year, and you don't get to be my age without navigating all kinds of transitions. Some you embraced, and some you never expected.
You said finding your voice as an advocate for women and girls. Was there a time you felt you had lost your voice?
Oh, yes, definitely. When I realized I wanted to step out on reproductive rights in 2012, I realized it took a lot of courage because I had lost my voice. I had the girl I was in high school and even in college, where I just spoke my mind all the time. Somehow I had lost that over time. And
why do you think you lost your voice, though? Because everything about you is so confident and so everybody knows how smart you are, how talented you are. Why do you suppose you lost it?
I didn't know everybody thought I was smart and talented. But you send a young woman out in the workforce, and you hear this all over, and you see it in the statistics. Women come up against 10,000 paper cuts. They're told you're not enough, you don't know enough, somebody speaks over you, somebody speaks for you. And so I started to lose it, I think, some in business. And then in philanthropy, I'm juggling with a partner who's very strong and strong-opinioned, strong-minded. People look to him first when we would enter a room. And so I just think over time, I became less of myself, and I didn't like myself.
It's interesting people would look to him first, but quite often he was leaning on you, though, Melinda. I mean, I remember you saying, look, I built this foundation. I built this too. It wasn't just him. I built this too. And people who work inside the foundation know that.
Yeah.
Know that.
But I think the external world, again, we would walk into a room initially with a prime minister or president, and it was usually a him. They would look to Bill because he was a leader of his industry, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't know that I had a lot of expertise and that I was traveling more in philanthropy than Bill was because he was busy with the company. And so I had to actually learn to interrupt that conversation. They wouldn't actually sometimes make room, interrupt and speak. And then the person would say, oh, she knows what she's talking about.
French Gates also talked about her plans to increase her political giving.
It is because I believe so strongly in women's rights in this country, and we have absolutely seen a rollback in the last 2 years. And we are not seeing good progress on maternal mortality in this country. We're not seeing good progress on women's well-being. So I'm stepping up my political giving alongside my charitable because I think we can move things like paid family medical leave further if I'm doing both.
There was another article that said your kids, Rory and Phoebe in particular, are pushing you to get more involved and get more politically involved. Is that true?
My son, Rory, is definitely very much thinking about politics. So he's the one that pushes me politically. My two daughters, my oldest daughter, Jen, is in medical school. So she was just in Kenya. I haven't been in Kenya in a few years. She comes back and tells me what the needs are there. My daughter, Phoebe's talking to me about reproductive rights. So I hope I'm a continuous learner and always learning from my three kids or anybody that I'm meeting.
In your speech, you said you've gotten better at managing, even embracing uncertainty. Mm-hmm. I know going through a divorce, I know, been there, done that, and it's not fun. And now you seem to have come out on the other side. True?
True. Because there's healing that has to happen, right? And I think I've been on that journey with help from friends and a good therapist.
Thank God for friends, yes, and
thank
therapy.
God for friends, male and female, and I have great family members. Mm-hmm. And so I've come out the other side, and what I've learned is that there's a whole opening in life, an opening at 60 that I never expected. And I'm just embracing it and enjoying it immensely.
And how would you describe your relationship with Bill Gates today? Back then you said you wouldn't say friends, but we're friendly. What would you say it is today?
I'd say the same thing today.
Yeah. French Gates is reflective and hopeful about her next chapter and her milestone birthday coming up in August. When you think about 60, what does that mean to you?
It means still vitality. I feel fantastic. Yes, a few things ache a little bit more when I go out and jog or play pickleball, but I still have all my vitality, and I have I hope, a body of wisdom that I can carry forward.
Yeah, and you look fantastic too.
Thank you.
Do you feel as fantastic as you look?
I do. I do. I'm just happy. Yeah, I'm happy.
And the happiness shows.
Thank you.
I know. Doesn't she feel lighter? And when she says, I'm happy, she's so comfortable in her
believe
skin.
it? Yeah.
Oh, I definitely believe it. And, when you think about badass woman, that is exactly what she is.
Yeah.
She's very passionate about women running for office. But when I said, Melinda, you could be a really good political candidate, that was a hard no.
Really?
Hard no. Nope. She's not even kind of entertaining that idea.
But she has a magnetic quality. I mean,
Yes.
Magnetic is the word, yeah.
There's dead silence in the studio. We were all watching. I mean,
Tapped
she
in.
holds attention.
And she there's something about when you look good and you feel good, then, what does Dion say? Then you do good.
You do good.
And that's exactly what she's doing. Yeah, and she said this, listen, she said, I'm not going to fall on my face. I know I'm going to make some mistakes, but I know I'm not going to fall on my face, and I'm so ready for this next
She
chapter.
said 100%
all areas.
charitable.
Yes.
That is awesome.
I'm so glad you pointed that out.
And I love, this full circle moment because she essentially went from interrupting conversations to interrupting the industry of philanthropy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And really having
everybody.
everybody check themselves.
Yeah.
Are you really doing the right thing by the people you're trying to help?
Yeah, Melinda French Gates, don't
And that's
forget
what
that
she's doing.
name. She's going to be doing big, big things.